Welcome to Behind the Film. I'm Cory McCabe. Today we're going to be looking at the DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor and how you can ripple delete from playhead to the end of the clip and playhead to the beginning of the clip. Most of us are used to this workflow. It is extremely fast once you have gotten the hang of it. Hopefully most of you have, because it's just a really solid workflow to edit and get through a bunch of footage. So the workflow might look something like this. Let's say I want to cut here. I've set that to be C for a cut, so I can place a cut. And let's say I want it to start here. I can hit Q. So this is how we would do it on the keyboard. So Q and W, that's what I've personally set. That's not default in DaVinci Resolve. So this is a workflow that's really common and it's very, very effective. The speed editor can't do that. The best it can do is you can split a clip. So that's this button right here. We can split, and we can see there's a split on the cut there. Now, if I'm happy with where my playhead is, and we're on the edit page right now, we're gonna move to the cut page in a second, which is what this thing is built for. But if I wanna ripple delete from where my playhead is now to that cut that I just placed, I can't do that. Like, there just isn't a way to do that on the speed editor. So what you would have to do is go back to the cut, there's a couple ways to do it actually. You could hit the in point, you could go to where you're happy and hit the out point, then reach over to this ripple delete button. And now we've just ripple deleted. So that's much more steps, right? Let's undo that.
And of course, the other method that you could do is, scroll to where you want with the jog wheel, hit split. And then at that point, you would have to scroll the jog wheel back a little bit so that your playhead is over the previous clip that you just cut around. And then you could hit ripple delete. That's another method. But it's still not as fast or efficient as just hitting one key, right? Which would be, in my case, Q.
Another way you could do it is more common, is you could hit trim in, right? And drag until that's exactly where you want it. But it still is more time consuming because you have to be much more fine tuned with the scroll wheel. So in the cut page though, we've got this little indicator here, and this shows what we're going to be trimming toward, right? And that shifts as I get to this cut. The problem is if I'm anywhere in between cuts, right now there's no indicator, right? So if I start holding trim in, nothing happens because nothing's on the screen, right? And so that's actually a huge problem, because if you made a cut like 1 minute ago in the timeline and now you've scrolled all the way over here and now you're ready to trim in, you can't do that. That is a huge limitation with the speed editor. So I found a way to ripple delete. Now this is it's a hack way, so just keep that in mind, but it does work for me and I'm very happy with it. What I'm using is something called Keyboard Maestro, okay? Let me open that up right here. So this is Keyboard Maestro, and what it's a macro editor. You can automate all types of keystrokes within a split second. And so you can set, let's say you wanted F5 to open Chrome or Safari, you could set that. You could just hit F5 and it opens Chrome. You could also set it to open Chrome and open 5 different tabs of your favorite tabs, and you could have it even tweet, you can do countless things. This is the best investment I've ever made. And that's the caveat here, is that it is paid. I think it's $50 for one time. There's no subscription or anything, you pay it once. It has been well worth it. I have saved weeks of time. I love it. Actually, let me find this. So look at this. I have saved an accumulative of 63 days total by using this, meaning that if I were to do all of those actions manually, this is how long I would have been spending time. And I've been using this thing for many, many, many years, so it's counting up a lot of days. But that's how much time you can save by using this. Well worth the investment. Here's how you can use it to ripple delete from the playhead to the beginning or end of a clip. So I have a folder in Keyboard Maestro, and I have one for the cut page, and I can send you the file. So in the description, I've got the file of where you can actually download this and use it if you get Keyboard Maestro yourself. What it's doing though, I'm gonna show you how it works. It's saying, if I'm in the cut page, and only when I'm in the cut page will this macro work, okay? And so what it's gonna look for is a red marker, okay? So anytime I place a red marker, by default your markers are blue, so you have to be intentional about it. When you place a red marker, it will hit Q. That's that shortcut I used earlier where it ripple trims from the playhead to the beginning of the clip. It's gonna look for a red marker anytime I place one and hit Q for me. Then, also just in a split second, it also deletes that marker because I don't want to have a bunch of markers because I do that shortcut all the time, right? Like we're constantly doing this. So it places the marker, it ripple trims from the beginning of the clip to the playhead, and then it deletes the marker. And so I'm just ready to go. So let's look at what this looks like. Okay, so I go here, place a cut. Now I trim, and now remember that indicator is off screen now, so we can't hit trim in or any of that. So let's say this is where I want to start my shot. And I've got my hands here, right? Like I could be down here on my keyboard, but if my keyboard's off to the side, I could be fully on this thing right here. So what I do is you double click marker, and that brings up the marker color panel, and I go to red. Once you set it to red, you don't have to do it again. But did you see what just happened? It just ripple trimmed to the cut, and then it deleted that marker. I'm gonna show you again. And again, now that I've set it to red, I don't have to keep setting it to red, it's already there. So again, I trim, or I'm scrolling through my timeline, I go, okay, this is where I want. Double click to add a marker, it adds a red marker, ripple trims, deletes the marker, and I can keep going. This has saved me so much time, and I really love the speed editor, but that limitation of the speed editor of not being able to ripple and delete has stopped me from using it, so I've found a way to finally make this work. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions about Keyboard Maestro or anything DaVinci Resolve related. I've come up with a lot more things like this, so let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I'll see you in the next video.